Hi, Car here. I'm super thrilled I've made it to the end of the Love Yourself series. It's my first comeback. I've been an AMI for over a year now, and it has been an awesome journey. So today we shall be talking idol. I'm going to share my first impressions, first thoughts, and observations. Stay tuned. How cute are these guys? It's like they brought in Egg from Gogo and put a little bit of it in here, and I can't get over how flirty the Magna line is. Now I know that people who felt everything was too much and that the graphics were poorly done, but I guess that is the charm of the video. It has this playful, sketchy, cute look, and juxtaposed against their expressions, I feel they complement each other perfectly. Which brings me to a point. In the previous album, they were talking about the struggles of being oneself, of finding oneself, of balancing an image before people and away from people. And in this answer, it's like they've got their answer. It's like, I'm me, I love me, and I'll do me. So regardless of what who says, this is them. So I feel they are like, they've removed the mask and are showing their true selves. Like, they're playful, they're fun, and they have all these things going. They're not one color, they're not one texture, there are many things, and it may seem chaotic, but if you look closely, you see the beauty in it. JK is back to rapping. How cool is that? And V finally made it to the rap line. Finally. I actually hope this to get to rap more in the near future. Since I'm an art student, such elements tend to stand out for me. The use of arches and fake love gives this particular space a familiar feel, and similar vibes are felt in Mic Drip. The formation of the members while dancing has a big role, it plays in that, and the redhead being in the middle in Mic Drip and Idol also contributes to that. Look who made it to the party, J-Hop's Daydream. I feel as members of the same group, they share the same reality, so it makes sense that they're fishers here. This one is pretty self-explanatory. I hope others felt it too. The Not Today vibe. Now, to the part that have been anticipating what is so African inspired about Idol, I know very many people have noticed the Guara Guara, but there's more to it. The sunset, as many have observed, is very reminiscent of savanna game reserves in eastern and southern Africa. Then there's the print. I'm not exactly sure it's African print, but from the juxtaposition of when they were wearing the clothes with the print to the sunset in the background or the scenes with the giraffes, I'd like to think it's African inspired print. Then we have the fiber masks. They're more of a West African thing for the likes of Benin, Ivory Coast, Mali, Togo, Senegal, and Burkina Faso. Now these are ceremonial, used for celebratory dancing during commemoration of Riot Soul Cycle of life. Why they're used in the video, I would think for the purpose of celebrating life and culture. Well, the dancers, they have a lot to do with the music, so I'll scratch a little on the African-inspired beats in the song. The musical genre used here is Kwaito. It's a South African musical style, known as the musical voice for young black urban South Africa. Now, I'm not South African, but I've read quite a bit on it, so I have a little knowledge of it. So Kwaito merged as a street style that reflected the life in townships. It was a post-apartheid form of expression, a reinterpretation of European house music with influences from South African disco music, hip-hop, R&B, and raga. It was basically a blend of things that youth at the time had been exposed to, And when they got the chance to express themselves, that was after apartheid, when Mandela became the first democratically elected president of South Africa. Essentially, Kwaito touched political and social issues. It reflected the energy of South African youth. The pioneers of Kwaito were kids born in the late 70s and early 80s, and while their parents were students who fought apartheid, who fought for freedom, they were fighting for an identity. And I get why BTS could choose that style of music for this particular song, for this particular album, because they have been touching the subject of finding identity. Who am I? What am I? What do people say I am? And who do I say I am? Kwaito gets the house music that these kids grew up listening to, like the R&B, the hip hop, reggae, and gets it and blends it with their tribal and culture music, the Zulu, the Sotho, and they sing in their language, and that becomes a culture of their own. It becomes their own identity. So the Kwaito that is right now, that is identified with urban South Africa right now, that's how it started. Note, the music comes with the dancing. Kwaito is a layering of European house with local attitude. So the tempo was slowed down and given a beat to which these youngsters could dance to. Hence the very expressive dancing. The footwork has a lot to do with the traditional African dances. So the whole package, the beats, the tempo, the dancing is an interpretation, a reinterpretation of all these genres that these guys had been exposed to, that they have reformed and refined into what is Kwaito today, what is urban South Africa today, what has spread all over Africa today, that is now an African sound. I really appreciate BTS for covering such universal issues like identity of the youth, because for us Africans and everyone else really, you find yourself conflicted at points between the Western world you're grown into and the traditional world you are born into. What I feel this comeback is saying is it's okay to not be one thing, because you cannot be one thing. You are not one thing. You're a blend of so many things, and that's who you are. It's okay to be that. So be you. Someone else doesn't have to define who you are. You may seem chaotic, but you're actually a beautiful mess.